All right, hey, this is going to be video number 2, and today talking about tariffs. And a lot of people believe that the tariffs will be paid for by China. They will not be paid for by China or any other country upon which we impose those tariffs. They're paid by whoever imports that good. It's a duty, it's a surcharge, it's a tax. And where does that tax go? It goes into the government's coffers. But that company is going to pay it, is going to charge it, and you're going to end up paying for it. And I'm going to just show you some numbers. I'm going to write it all out so you can see the work, and you can see that tariffs are going to be a horrible, horrible impact to the pocketbook. All right, so real quick about tariffs and how tariffs will directly correlate to the price of your goods. All right, so let's say that this is maybe $5, $10, $15, and this will be $20, this will be $25. And in the supply chain, okay, so when we talk about the supply chain, we're going to have the manufacturing, we're going to have a distributor, we're going to have a wholesaler, and then we're going to have a retailer. Now, each of these, outside of the manufacturing is generally going to be a set cost. Everybody else is going to take a piece of that or a percentage of that. So, let's say we have a $5 good, okay? And let's say the distributor is going to take 20%. They're not going to do a flat fee. They're going to do a percentage that will capture all their operating costs, capital costs, and some other, and then provide them a steady margin. Okay, so now that $5 item with a 20% increase, that's $1 more. Okay, so now we're at $6. Now the wholesaler is going to take that, and let's say they want to have they add on another 25%. Okay, so 25% of 6 is another $1.50. So now we're going to be at $7.5. All right, then the retailer is going to mark it up 100%. They're going to go all the way, and so that $5 item that originated, let's say, in China, is now going to be at $15, okay? And then you add an 8% tax onto that. So 15 times 0.08, that's another $1.20. So now your total is going to be $16.20 for that item that's coming out of China for $5. Now, if we add a 50% tariff to that, okay, so we're going to insert a tariff in here. Now, the president-elect has said that he will have, he wants to have a 60% tariff on China, 20% on other nations, etc. So we'll just use 50 because it makes the calculation easy. But what you're going to see is that 50% of that $5 is $2.50. All right, so now we're now at 7.5. However, these other parts of the chain, they're not going to eat that cost, and they're going to continue to maintain their margin. So they're going to continue to charge at 20% over that 7.5. So guess what? That 20% over 7.5 is going to be another $1.50. So now you're up to $9. Oh, and then we're going to go over here, over to the wholesaler. The wholesaler is going to add another 25% of 9. Okay, so now we're going to go up to, that's going to be $2.25. So now we're up to $11.25. And then the retailer, well, the retailer is going to double, right? We already see that. So now the retailer is going to take that, and that retailer is now going to double that. And so now that you're looking at $22.50. That's a huge jump. There's your 50% jump. $15 to $22.50. That's $7.50. So that 50% tariff, which initially generates $2.50, and all of that is going to taxes, right? That's basically tax revenue by the government. But you're going to be paying it. The company's going to pay it initially, but then you're going to end up paying it and even more. So that initial $2.50 is now translating to $7.50. And then you add the tax, so you have $22.50, right? And then we do an 8% tax on that. That's another $1.80. So now you're at $24.30. So that $15 item, which you got for $16.20, is now going to be $24.30, all because of a $2.50 additional tariff that's happening down here. So this is how the tariffs are going to impact you. You see this massive curve. So normally you have a curve that's like this, but now you're going to have an accelerated curve of your costs. And that's what's going to happen.